So I'll be providing all the links. Okay, so just a sec. Let me increase the volume a little bit. Okay, so yeah, it is Linux Admin 130, the batch number is, and I conducted around 6 batches prior to this one. Okay, so yeah, a little bit about myself, Karthik here. So I have around almost 4 years of experience. It is around 3.8. And I'm currently working as a platform engineer in an MNC, and I have RHCSA certification and about to appear for RHCE. And currently we are handling more than like around 7,000 plus servers. Okay, so yeah, we're still onboarding a lot. So yeah, and a little bit about the basic, like all the base topics which we are going to cover, like the overview is like these are all the like eagle eye view of the whole course, like the most one or the most time you'll spend it in user management, disk and process management. Okay, and system diagnostic as well as a day-to-day activity. You'll be going through that. And yeah, this is the chart we will be seeing. Okay, so the very first thing is user management disk. Okay, before that, first thing is what is Linux and what is Red Hat, right? So Linux, as you guys already might know, or if, for the people who doesn't know, Linux is just another operating system like our Windows. So the operating system which we are using currently in our system, right? That is your Windows operating system, which is owned by Microsoft. Similarly, Linux is an open source operating system. And what is open source, by the way? Right? So open source is nothing but how to say, like close. First, let me explain closed source. Okay, so right away, let me give an example that. So you can't go to the settings and you can't edit any of these sections, right? So which means you can't simply remove the clipboard. Okay, I didn't enable the recording. Just a second. Okay, so it is already recording. Someone initiated the recording once. Yes, okay, no problem. So the thing is that you can't edit any of these options, right? So until you're creating your own developer version or something, but still in that also some of the settings are restricted. So you can't edit any of this. So this is called as closed source, which means only one proprietary owner for that operating system or that tool, right? So which means only they can, uh, just a second. So someone initiated the annotate. Uh, yeah. So please don't annotate anyone. Okay. So yeah. So that is the thing. Like closed source in the sense, only one proprietary owner would be there, and they would be the one who would perform any action on that operating system or any software in that case. Okay. So similarly, contradictory to that, on the like what is open source, right? So open source in the sense you guys might heard a site called as GitHub, right? So almost every open source project would end up there. So which means they will even provide you the code or everything, right? So similar way, Linux operating system, initially the kernel was in a open source. So we'll come to what is kernel in the later sessions. But yeah, that is the core of the whole operating system. And even Windows has their own version of kernel, okay? So why I explained all this open source, because Red Hat is a separate enterprise company. So this is their site, and you just Google Red Hat. It is a third-party company, just like any other company, and they took that open source version of Linux and they built their own version of it. And why it is still holding up, because why I told so many operating systems are like in the lineage while Red Hat also was growing. So like SUSE is there, a lot of operating systems are there, Fedora. So some only sustained. Why? Because they had a good community, as well as they provided a good support for that. So Red Hat is one of the key player in like in terms of support. Okay, so still they are one of the key player for the support. Okay, so yeah, so that is the reason they are still like in the game, like we can say that. Why? Because even IBM acquired them in 2018, I guess. So yeah, that is the like kind of a basic history about Red Hat company. And coming back to our syllabus, the thing is that what is our why RHCSA certification? Okay, so this course will be revolving around this certificate. Why? Because this is the base certificate for any sysadmin. Okay, so that is the main crux of this course, right? So Linux administrator, what is a Linux administrator and what is the day-to-day activities for him, right? So the main part is it will be revolving around why? Because this certificate is a practical one. So what is a practical certificate, by the way? It is nothing but you would not have any MCQs or any like fill in the blanks or any type of questions, right? So only it is a practical based questions, and you must understand the core concept of that question, and then only you can answer for it, right? So that is the main and that is the main thing. This certificate has a credibility over any of the like kind of in this niche. There are so many certificates are there, right? So some might prefer MCQ way, but this is the one of the like has its own credibility. Why? Because of this practical way, right? So even if you take AWS, so even AWS has its own way of approach for the certification. But this like obviously if you know how to do practical only, you can attend this exam, right? Or appear for that exam. So that is the main thing. This certificate has its own advantage over any of the certifications. Okay, so it is RHCSA. The full form is Red Hat. Let me open my pad. Red Hat Certified System Administrator. Okay, so and all the syllabus which is based on this course is like tailored around this certificate only. Okay, and the main principles or the main topics which we will cover throughout this courses, like the first thing is your user management, and what we will be covering in the user management. Let me give a insight about that. So the very first thing is obviously like manipulating the each users and how to like let's say modifying an existing user, creating a new one, or anything you want to do, creating a new password for that user or any. Yeah, so let me, okay. So sorry, someone was unmuted, so I will give some time for discussion. Okay, so I muted you. Okay, so yeah. The thing is that like how to manipulate the password and based on the requirement, right? So how super user works. So all these are comes under user management. Okay, so there are still more topics in user management like a restricted user. So many are there. So we'll be walking through during the sessions. Okay, so and how to configure the SSH key pair and from one server to another. So those are all comes under user management. Okay, so and like and disk management. So this disk management is one of the important topic, I would say, because on day-to-day basis you'll be working on that. So many might know LVM or might not. Or the thing is that LVM is a new concept. If you are not familiar with Linux, it is logical volume management. Okay, so it is nothing but a way of managing your whole disk array of disks. Okay, so those all will be going through, and I will try to cover RAID concepts as well. Okay, and how to create an LVM, how to remove, how to extend one. So that is the most like as a day-to-day activity, you'll be doing that a lot. How to extend it. Okay, so yeah, that is your LVM, and yeah, these are all the disk management. So we'll come to this once we will do. Yeah, so coming back to the Red Hat, I forgot to explain you all the different distros. So many might know this. So there are different distros, it is called as, or Linux distributions. Okay, so I will come back to the syllabus part. Well, okay, so once I cover this one, so Linux distros. So if you just Google this, there is a lot of distros would be there. So what is the core element of all this is the base Unix or the Linux kernel, right? So each have their own version of that kernel, but the core kernel is the one which should be powering all the major of the Linux systems, and it is based on Unix. Okay, so that is the first thing, and you can see a lot actually. So it is there is even a dedicated site for different Linux distros are there. So yeah, distro watch. This is the site. Yeah. So Linux Mint is there. So Ubuntu is a famous one. So many open source operating systems are there, but why Red Hat coming back to that is like the very first thing an enterprise want is more than how to say like more than a clean operating system or a user friendly operating system. They want a stable and availability must be there when it comes to enterprise, right? So why? Because the availability is the key important when it comes to enterprise, right? So the server must not go down. Like let's say there is a bug or there is something went wrong in the operating system side, right? So it should not be that much unstable. So they must be a stable one and a reliable one. So, and if something goes wrong also, there must be a support or a support mechanism for that operating system. So all this were promised by Red Hat, and they do deliver that via like their own support system, and it is one of the most reliable by most of the enterprises. So that is the reason. Even the certificate which you are doing after the sessions, or like that is the reason I picked this certification because it has that credibility, right? So why? Because most like almost 85 to 90% of the companies use Red Hat as their base machine. And why Red Hat and why Linux? Because almost you guys might have heard this. It is not a buzzword nowadays. It is a common word, right? So DevOps and cloud. So all DevOps and cloud servers, right? So servers or a system would be running in a Linux machine, and that operating system which is powering that Linux machine is your Red Hat only, right? So almost every service, I would say, not like literally every service. Like Ubuntu is there, CentOS. So CentOS is also a version of Red Hat, so they own CentOS as well. Okay, so yeah, so and even Ansible, you guys might know, right? So Ansible is also owned by Red Hat, and OpenShift. So many products are owned by Red Hat. Okay, so it is a huge company, by the way, and yeah, so that is some of the brief history about Linux distros, and there is around 1,000 plus distros are there. Okay, so even a small, so that is the reason it is open source, right? So even a small community of developers would build their own version of Linux. Okay, so yeah, so coming back to our syllabus, so is there any doubts or anything to add up? Anyone like? Okay, so is there any audio issue by anyone? So Sai is mentioning that we can't hear. So Please do let me know. Okay. Yeah, Gopi, you are unmuted.
Yeah, actually, as you said that the dev apps, everything's need this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true. I
Yeah.
agree with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I have some clarification actually. See,
Mm-hmm.
this is a Linux, okay. But
Mm-hmm.
for if you go with AWS or Azure, okay. For example,
Mm-hmm.
AWS having that CLI commands, okay. And if you
Okay.
go with clusters, Kubernetes clusters having there are different command which is using some kind of common commands for grip, word lines, everything they are using it.
Yeah.
But so what, this is this Linux command only. For example, suppose you said that under Linux the Ubuntu, CentOS, and all everything is there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So whatever using the commands in Linux, same thing only is applicable in CentOS and Ubuntu.
It depends actually. It depends on the developer and that company. So most of the commands would be the same. So actually, the commands would be like would come under the roof of like Unix, not Linux as well as. So if you see the Unix commands like list command like ls, and so like I'm just giving a basic commands.
Hmm.
Okay, so like a copy command. So these are all a Unix command rather than a Linux or a, CentOS or Solaris. So these kind of flavors. So these are all called as Linux distros, right? So they will share all this. Actually, it is a command is nothing but a binary. So we'll discuss that later in the session. But to answer your question, yeah, all this like this DevOps tools or almost any tools nowadays has their own CLI version, right? So to
Hmm.
increase the stability or to ease of access, right? So instead of going to the GUI, easily you can do in CLI, and all these commands will be shared. So like command in the sense that binary file of that Unix would be shared among all the applications. So that is how it works, and it would be running in a shell. So we'll come to that shell again. So in a later session.
Okay.
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 So yeah, yeah.
So
So
and are we going to cover that shell scripting also in this?
no, Gopi, actually, shell scripting is a whole huge topic altogether. So we will planning for a shell scripting sessions in a separate say, shell scripting course actually. So we will be not discussing the whole. I will be giving a basic idea how shell scripting works and all, but we won't be doing extensively the shell scripting
Okay.
part. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is
Okay.
a huge topic altogether. So that is the reason. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Thanks, Gopi. Yeah. So just a sec. Yeah, just a sec, guys. I will be going through your yeah, Kamala Hassan. Just like give me 10 minutes. I'll be completing this explanation and I'll come back to your questions. Okay. So yeah. So this is what we'll be discussing as I just told. So first thing is we'll be discussing the basic and Linux commands. So commands in the sense it is nothing but a binary file. Okay, so binary is in the sense ones and zeros, which is only read by the, or we can't decode that right away, right? So that is the main thing, and there is a lot of comments. Okay, so like we will be at least seeing around 150 plus comments, and don't worry about all the comments, and you need not remember almost every comment you have help comment. Okay, so we'll be seeing that, and that is the first thing, and you can install it in two ways. So we'll be installing it in our local machine using VMware Workstation, as well as we'll be installing in any one of the cloud service provider. So I'll be showing you how to install in AWS as well as GCP. Okay, so Azure you can install, so but Azure is only giving you $100 and 1 month of trial, so which is not sufficient for our sessions, right? So means like after my session you need to practice your lab, right? So I guess AWS and GCP offers a good way, right? So for the people who can't install on your own laptop or your computer, right? So for them, please do install in your. So I'll be showing you how to install, and even those you can add in your resumes or just for your like if you're already working, you can add in your resume, right? So yeah, and the very important as a sysadmin is your performance monitoring. So there are different metrics we'll be monitoring, right? So CPU, memory, and GPU if there is a case, and disk. So GPU very rarely will be considered in an enterprise. Only if it is needed, it will be considered. Okay, so means like only if there is a need for that application, GPU will be considered. So almost only these three metrics will be monitoring. So I'll be showing you. I will try to install Grafana or some of the DevOps tool to show you how to monitor. So there are so many tools for monitoring, like all are open source, by the way. So New Relic is there, Grafana, ELK stack. So all these are different tools. Okay, so for monitoring only. Okay, so I will try to configure in the last session or something like how to do this performance monitoring using New Relic or any one of these tools. Okay, so yeah, that is your performance monitoring, and this user management, all this we already saw. So and AD configuration, we won't do AD. Okay, so I will try to explain you how AD configuration works and how the centralized configurations and all is there, because there are again so many tools for that. So there is Thycotic PAM, and so many are there. So the Windows Active Directory. If possible, if time permits, we will see that how to configure AD in the last sessions and all. But I will explain you how it works, right? So as a sysadmin, they might even ask you in the interviews as well, like how an Active Directory works and all, right? So, and these are all the basic operating system concepts. So even for a Windows or a Linux, this all would be the same, like how to create an archive, how to like basic file operations as well as file permissions, right? So in Windows, you won't care much about the file permissions, but in Linux, it is one of the important thing. So that is the, we will be seeing that, and this is the like SSH key pair. So I told, right? So how to connect from one server A to B, and vice versa, like that, right? So, and you would be doing this often in your like in your work. Okay, so SSH is nothing but secure shell. So we will be seeing this on this all topics extensively in the upcoming sessions. Okay, and all these are basic activities of a sysadmin, like the boot order or boot procedure, right? So how to interrupt a boot procedure, and yeah, this is what, like how to boot into like emergency mode, and if something goes wrong or you configured it wrongly, right? So it will go to a boot loop even in your Windows also. So let's say you, for example, you overclocked your CPU to like a wrong configuration, let's say. So your CPU would boot loop for some time, right? So you need to reset your BIOS, and then only it will come to a normal state, or it will do a normal boot, right? So those all we'll be seeing if something goes wrong. So intentionally we'll trigger that, and we'll be seeing that, and how to change the root password using the emergency mode. So those are all basic things we'll be seeing, right? So yeah, this is the like process management. This topics on like how to identify which CPU is consuming a lot of like in your, let's say it is a 8-port CPU, right? So which process is consuming a lot of your CPU core, and why though, right? So you need to see the different logs, and using top is a command we'll be seeing. So top IO top is there. So many commands are there. So we'll be monitoring, and Yeah, those all will be seen, like even CPU, memory, all those metrics will be seen. And disk management will be, it is a separate topic altogether, right? So it is very important. Why I am stressing disk management? Because as a sysadmin, day to day you'll be the one who will be provisioning the disks, right? So not from the data store or a in the data center, like there would be a separate storage admin, right? So they will be just plugging in the hard disk, so you'll be the one configuring it and providing it to the application users or the end user, someone, right? So that would be the day to day. Almost every day you might do a disk management, right? So that at least I would take 3 to 4 days disk management only, right? So the pace would be a bit slow, or I might explain a bit more on disk management. Okay, so that's the thing. And as a sysadmin, you must uh, like understand and how to monitor the logs, right? So you need to get the exact time frame, or if you got a vague time frame also, you need to manipulate the logs and see which exact log or why the system went to hung state, or you need to do the root cause analysis, and all those things we'll be seeing how to do those, right? So these are all not comes in your exam per se, right? So but still, as a sysadmin, this course is like how to say, like if you completed this course, at least 1.5 to 2 years of experience you can put in your of course you can't put in your resume, but you can put the bullet points what and all which we are mentioning here, right? So because all this you will be going through one by one, and it will be a pure practical sessions. Okay, so yeah, and this one already we saw, like LVM creation, deletion, all this, right? So and this one, like Stratus and video is an advanced version of LVM, and most companies don't prefer that, but still we need to understand, as I said, how it works, right? So it is a new concepts, by the way, so still it's been there for a while, but yeah, so we will see that Stratus and video, so there is some advantage over each one of those, so we'll be seeing that in almost last of the sessions. Okay, so and coming to the security part, so when it comes to any operating system, security is the key aspect of that whole operating system, right? So if a security is failing, the whole operating system might fail in the future, or it is kind of like a precautionary measures, right? So it might fail, and it as an end customer or end user in our personal mission, we don't care much about the security, right? So even though we do safeguard our own data and all, like photos and videos or something, but when it comes to enterprise, it is a totally different thing, because there will be a separate security team altogether just to see is there any vulnerability in the server, right? So if something is like vulnerable, or if it is a threat, right? So there was a incident like this log4j issue like last year, right? So like all the servers we did, even myself, we did uninstall the some of the applications which were using log4j, and we did updated some of the applications, so we need to mitigate those kind of security threats right away. So even though it won't, even though that software we didn't use for quite a while, we need to remove that. So there would be some security audits, or like yeah, it like each quarter there will be an audit, and if there is something wrong, or it might be wrong in future, we would be removing, or we would mitigate that in a different way altogether, right? So security is a very important aspect, and yeah, SE Linux and firewall, all these are very important. So we'll see how the context work, SE Linux context, and SE Linux booleans, how those works. We'll be seeing, and how to create this restricted user with like rbash, right? So all those we'll be seeing. So and networking, actually, again, networking is a separate topic altogether, right? So like sorry, separate course altogether, because it is a huge topic, right? So networking. So we'll be seeing what and all as a sysadmin we'll be configuring, right? Like adding a route, adding a static IP, adding a new NIC card and configuring it. So these kind of base, like of course, creating a host name and yeah, so those kind of things only we'll be doing, right? So yeah, so the lastly we'll be seeing containers. So Red Hat has their own version of container, right? So it is called as Podman. So you just Google that, right? So Podman is like it is a alternative of Docker. So some might have heard Docker, right? So all those we'll be seeing. So how Podman works and how the like what are all the benefits of having a container over a VM. So those things we'll be seeing. Okay, so yeah, we'll be configuring the Podman and we'll create a startup process along with the Podman. And we'll be even seeing a VMware vSphere basic session. So actually, in order to install this VMware vSphere, you need there is a hardware requirement. So simply you can't install in your base machine like your laptop. So I will try to already I will be providing you an ISO. So I'll try to explain you how it works and why, because the one which you will be using, right, VMware Workstation, so that won't be used in your enterprise. So this is a toned down version of your VMware vSphere. So almost every feature in your enterprise won't be there in your Workstation one. So we'll be seeing how it works and how to configure this one, right? So yeah, that's it, your syllabus. So let me come to your questions. Yeah, Kamala Hassan. So let me just, can you raise your hand if possible? I need to search you once again. Yeah, I found you. Yeah, you're unmuted, Kamal.
Yeah, hi Karthik. Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, hi, Kamal. Good evening. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I am working as a DevOps engineer. This course will be
Mm-hmm.
useful for the DevOps perspective.
Yeah, Kamal. So as you told, you are an experience or like,
Yeah,
let's say you
yeah,
joined. Yeah.
yeah. I just joined. Almost 9 months has been completed.
Okay. Okay. So as a DevOps engineer, also this. Okay. Let me mute you for a while. So yeah. So the thing is that even as a DevOps engineer or a platform engineer, so once our sessions are done, so you can apply for these four roles. Okay, so platform engineer, system engineer, obviously, so and cloud engineer. So you are the people who are already working in these roles and people who are aspiring to become or to work in these kind of designations, right? So you will be eligible for this course. Why? Because this is like kind of a basic to intermediate level of Linux, and almost any applications or companies use Linux. So many people will miss the basics, right? So this course will be uh, like we'll be seeing an advanced version of the basics, we can say, we can put it like that, because many would miss the basics, right? So Linux is like how to say, like uh, you'll be interacting in the shell and every day you'll be doing that, but you won't understand why we are using the shell in the first place, right? So this course will be seeing how it works and almost everything will be covering, right? So you might have already worked in a file system, and you might have, even as a DevOps guy, you would be installed in some application in one of the file systems. So what is a file system and why we are mounting it to a mount point? So those kind of correlations we'll be seeing, and yeah, so that is how it works, Kamal. Okay, so that is the thing. So all these four roles, people who are already there, if for the people who are purely non-technical, right? So for them also, how this course would be helpful, right? So since we are going from the basics, so this might be like a kind of igniting for your IT career, right? So which means you can pursue this certificate. So I'm not forcing you to do, but as a fresher, if you do, it would has its own credibility. Okay, so you can pursue this certificate and you can clear that exams, and that would add a weightage to your resume, right? So even you'll be confident enough to answer in the interviews. So because almost like literally L1 and L2, almost everywhere you would be seeing this all same topics and questions, right? So yeah, you can easily like explain them. And we'll be seeing some of the cloud, if time permits, some basic cloud, how it works, right? So you can even add those as well. Okay, so and for the people who are trying to or ready to attend this exam, so it is a not a free exam, first thing. Okay, so and the next one is it is like around RHCSA, including taxes, it is around 19,500 or almost 20K, right? So, and in dollars, you just convert that to a dollars. Okay. So, including taxes, this is so, yeah, it is not a like how to say, it is not a free one, that certificate, but it is totally worth it, I would say, right? So, yeah. And coming to our slides. So, this is all the syllabus topics we'll be covering. Um, Anifa, actually, Hyper-V, no, Anifa. So we'll be seeing how the VMware Workstation and vSphere works, but Hyper-V, I won't cover it. Okay, so yeah. So, is there any more doubts? Anyone on the syllabus part or in general, how this course would help you? So, yeah. Okay, so coming to the, okay, so Gopi.
Yeah, how the it's a practice or you the document or providing that in everyday class, that is we need to follow.
Yeah, Gopi. So every day we will be seeing one topic. Okay, so let's say, yeah, LVM. Let me take. Okay, so how to configure the LVM? All those I'll be providing you. So it won't be a like. So you just see the recording, and it will be a purely notes based, not like a slides or everything. So I'll be explaining you in the recording. So you just go through the recording, and in notes I'll be giving you in Paint. I will be drawing you and explaining you that. And yeah, so if you're still having doubt, we will be seeing in the next session. So the end goal is to make sure you understand all that, the crux of that topic,
Okay,
right? So that is the
means are you sharing that any PPT or any PDF files for every classes, or only the recording we need to follow?
uh, the notes will I will be providing you, Gopi. So
Every day.
there won't be, yeah, every day I'll be providing you. So there won't be any PPT as such, because since it is a practical sessions, right? So whatever I will be doing in that span of 1 hour, right? So you'll be seeing like whatever I'll be doing, I'll be sending you the notes and the log, the putty log, right? So that log also will be shared with you. So
Okay.
yeah, so if you're still stuck or if you're still having doubts, so the next day you can raise that concern. We'll be seeing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'm not sure your name, so you gave Coco. Okay, so that is a good question. So coming to the portal, so before that, let me show you the announcement. Okay, so yeah, from today we will start the session. Okay, so means from tomorrow it would be right away. There won't be like tomorrow obviously is a theory part, like how the booting procedure works, or like the basic, how the shell, all those basic stuffs we'll be seeing, because right away we won't be going through uh, configuring the VM, right? So first thing we'll be doing that, and after next to that session we'll be going through um, like we will be installing in our cloud as well as our base machine. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, Nifa, you are unmuted.
Yeah. Hello. Actually, I'm new. I'm new to cloud project actually. Previously, I used to work in Java.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it, applicable for me in order to understand what is server, what is, some kind
Obviously,
of
yeah.
basic understanding, what is meant by IP address, host name. I'm coming in my current project. I'm come across these kind of words, so
Mm-hmm.
I need to understand all these things, right, in order to work in
Yeah,
Linux
yeah.
application. So that I'm thinking of for joining here. Is it relevant for me, right, in order to understand
Y-
basic?
Yeah, Nifa. So we'll be going through the pure basics, right? So it will be purely like applicable for you. In your case, it will be a good one. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Actually, I'm not aware of anything, so I need to learn
Okay, no
from
problem.
scratch
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, no problem. So
yeah, then it's okay for me, right? Okay then. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, Nifa.
sure,
So
sure, Karthik. Yeah, thank you.
thanks. So again, it is not a free course, by the way. So it would be spanning around 20 plus days or 20, almost 20 to 25 days. Okay, so you just so if you ask more doubts, there would be more days, right? So that is the thing, and I appreciate you guys to ask. And it should be an interactive session, right? So whatever doubts you are facing or you're still you can't configure your system or everything, anything, any doubt related to Linux, you just I will be providing an email, so you just drop an email to me. I will be responding to that, or we'll be discussing in our session. Okay, so that is the thing. And yeah, from tomorrow we'll be starting the session, like means the actual session. So today it is just a demo, right? So and the course fee is around 3.5K in INR, including GST. It is 3K plus GST, and in dollars, it is $48. Okay, so yeah, so the resource link is so why I given a resource link, because first thing is okay, Sai, I think so. There is some audio issue from your end because only you are having that. You just drop and join once again so that it will be useful. Yes, Sweta. So each topic while I discuss, I'll be providing you that okay, this topic is will be asked in your interview. Okay, so there won't be a dedicated session only for interview questions. But if possible, I will be providing you some documents for that. But on day each day, so if there is an important question, so let's say even tomorrow's session, the booting procedure, right? So some of the like first level of questions in the interview, they might ask this, what is the booting procedure and how it works and all, right? So step by step, you need to answer that. So those kind of things we'll be seeing in like day-to-day basis. So yeah, and yeah, this is the resource section. So what and all we discuss in our session, right? So will be posted here, and notes actually it will be posted. Okay, coming to okay, I'll come to notes in next 5 minutes. Okay, so let me explain how this resources works. So the very first thing is you will be seeing almost a lot of files here. The very first thing is your ISO on VMware. Okay, so for the people who are having at least the basic requirement is 4 gigs of RAM and RAM or memory, and at least one vCPU is needed or one CPU. So almost any system would have one CPU. Okay, let me give two CPUs because you'll be running your Chrome as well, right? So you'll be seeing the recording and doing. So two CPUs. So how to see your CPU count is just go to your task manager. So just press Control or Delete or just Control Shift Escape. You'll be seeing this task manager and go to performance, make it full screen, come to CPU, and you can see the core count here, right? So core is 6, logical processes 12. So That is the thing. The core should be 2, at least 2, right? So for the people who have at least 2, obviously you can download or you can install your local version of your VMware on your Linux, right? So yeah, Nandakumar, RHEL 8 it is. So we'll be using a RHEL 8 or RHEL 9. So either of them you can use, but it should not be less than RHEL 8. So that is the thing, because RHEL 7 or RHEL 6 is obsolete. Like almost any companies doesn't use, and if they are using also, they are almost migrating. So you need not use a outdated one and or learn outdated one, right? So please opt for RHEL 8. So this is how you just download this. So why I use Google Drive, because easily you can see it is around 9.4 gigs. So why it is a huge ISO file is because even Windows doesn't have this much huge, right? Because it even includes all the packages, around 7,000 packages will be included with this bundle. So you just click this action and download it. Okay, so this is how you would be getting the ISO, as well as you download the VMware workstation. So on top of this VMware only, we'll be installing this ISO. So you need these last 2 files. And this file, you just double click, you can see the key. So it is for the pro version. So if you use the evaluation version, so it will be around only 60 days. So already this key is for lifetime. So you just use this key. So this key is applicable for everyone. Okay, so yeah. And Kitty, anyhow, we'll be installing and we'll be configuring that once we set up. But at least try to download these 3 files, guys. So I'll be just giving you this folders link in the chat as well, so that again let me paste it. So please do click this link, and if you're ready to join the course, please do bookmark this one, because almost anything related to our session I'll be posting it here, right? So that is the important file. And the next file which is very important is your questions. Okay, so you can see this one. So this question paper, and it is not the exact dump. Okay, so as the name suggests, it is not the exact dump. It used to be in last year. Okay, so this year I'm not sure, because I didn't got any updated one, but almost every topic which we discussed, right? So it would be in this question paper. So this is how RHCSA exam would be. So there is no MCQ or such, right? So that is the reason I have this question paper in this drive. So we'll be seeing one topic and a question related to that, so that it will be easy for you to understand and relate to that, right? So, and also you just easily after the sessions, you can practice all this question paper once again. So anyhow, there is a separate question paper as well. Okay, so this is the one, right? So text version or even a PDF version will be there. So that is the thing. Okay, so yeah, this file. So this is the action. There is around 21 to 22 questions will be there. So all these questions you will be having access once you just go to this link and bookmark this one, so that everything will be having access. And this is what your VMware vSphere is. Okay, so we'll be installing this VMware VMvisor later in the session, before next session. Yeah, Gopi. So as I told, you need not install anything. So during the session only you'll be installing Gopi. So please do download this and keep it handy, right? So please do download this 9.4 gigs one. So if you don't have that much bandwidth, so please don't worry. So you need not download anything. Okay, so just wait till last around 10 to 15 minutes at least. I will be showing you how to do in AWS. Okay, so AWS as well as GCP. So tomorrow's session or day after tomorrow, I'll be covering how to configure those. So yeah. No, Kaushik. So OpenShift is again a separate topic, so we won't be covering that. So yeah. So this is like basic and intermediate, Kaushik. So we won't be covering that. So that is the reason the time is around 20 days. So almost every day we'll be doing some other topics. So it will be a fully packed session. Okay. So yeah. And for the people who are asking how to see this one, so just go to Logic Labs Tech, right? So this is the portal, by the way. So in this portal, you'll be you can easily enroll to the session. So for the people who want who don't want to opt for a recording, sorry, opt for a recording, not a live session, right? So you are not available during that 8 to 9 p.m. IST, then you can go for the self-paced recording sessions, right? So here also it is there. So just click this view more because there is even so many courses are there. So this last course is the previous batch one. So you can even opt for this. Okay, so that the notes recording all will be for lifetime. Okay, so lifetime access, but there won't be any download option because it is DRM enabled. So if you download, I think so it won't, there won't be audio or such, right? So it is a DRM enabled portal, right? So that is the thing. And you just scroll to the last in this courses. I guess I can, let me give the link as well. So this is the link. So I'll be even editing this PDF and I'll be sending you the exact link. So, okay. So yeah, this is the link. Let me paste it in the chat. Cluster, I will be giving you the basic idea, Kaushik. So you won't be configuring a cluster, but I'll be giving a base idea how cluster works. Okay, so yeah. So this is the one. So let me show you how it works in the previous batches. Yeah, this is the previous batch. So you can see each day there would be a recording and there would be an attachment for that respective day. So that is how it works. Okay, so in this portal and this portal you can access in your mobile as well, and there is even an Logic Labs app in your app store as well as your Play Store. So please do download that and log in with your credentials. So creating a credential is easy, just like any other site. And in order to pay for the sessions, so just a sec. So just click on buy course, check out. Yeah. So click on next. Just a sec. Yeah. So it would be asking for your name and number. So just click next. Yeah. So just click on proceed to payment and it will be prompting for any one of the payment, like you can do UPI or credit card, debit card, anything. And even it does allow PayPal as well. So for the international students, you can opt for that. That is a very valid question, Sweta. So obviously you can get a job once you opt for Linux. Why? Because it is a separate, it is one of the easiest way to land a job in current market, because as a developer, let's say you're trying for Python. So at least you need to practice for 3 months continuously and you should crack the interview. So those are all uh, not a hard thing to be doing per se, but the thing is that it could be hard if you're not technical or not from an IT background, right? So you need to understand all those concepts and you need to execute that during even an interview. But in Linux, it will be easy and straightforward, right? So easily you can crack. And once you are done with your Linux, so first thing is you'll be ending up as a sysadmin, system engineer. So after that, you can either go to any one of these roles. You will be eligible, right? So, but obviously you need to upskill for those roles, but Linux would create a foundation for those. So that is the point of this course, right? So, yeah. And if you're not part of any one of the groups, so please click on this link, click on allow, and yeah, so you will be ending up with this link, and click on join chat to join the group. So if you're not part of any one of the groups, right? So yeah, and if you have any doubts, please do drop an email. So even any payment related or anything, please drop an email to me if you have any payment related. I'll be redirecting you to some of the group admins, because I don't manage this payment related one. Okay, so just a sec. It is so this mail you can drop me like any doubts in your technical part, so I'll be helping you, right? So please drop an mail to me, right? So if you have any doubts during the session, or almost every day I'll be checking that, so I'll be trying to help you on that. Okay, so and yeah, that's it for the session. So any doubts, anyone? Any more doubts? So some of the advanced topics I as Kaushik asked, right, like OpenShift and cluster, all those comes under Red Hat. But we will see. We will, if time permits, I will try to explain, or we will configure that. Okay, so yeah, because that's, it's been like 6 sessions, right? So this is the 7th one. So it is almost, the time is like it will be fully packed. The time would be, so let's see. If time permits, I'll be trying to explain you how the basic OpenShift or any cluster, or even some of the advanced topics like UDEV rules. So all those will try to explain. As I told Naresh, so the jobs are, these are all the roles you will be getting, ending up with. So first thing is here, system engineer should be the first one. Okay, so yeah, you'll be placed with any one of the roles, and after the session you can update your resume. So yeah, again, if time permits, I'll be reviewing you some of the resumes and sharing some points, and yeah, you can apply for these roles. And first thing, you must be placed in a sysadmin, and later you'll be eligible once you understand and work on some of the tools or cloud, right? So yeah, so yeah, any more doubts? If not, we'll be seeing in tomorrow's session, and please do make sure, let me just do once again. So for the people who want to install in your local machine, so download this 2 files, right? So a rel ISO as well as workstation. Okay, so how to install that? Anyhow, if you are if you want to install it today, if you have time, so please do follow this guide. So VMware workstation installation, along with the screenshots, it is there. So, and ISO installation, anyhow, I'll be showing you tomorrow session. Just VMware installation is very straightforward, just like any one of your installation. And for the people who are using your Mac OS, right? So for them, it is called as VM Fusion. So I will be providing you link in the notes. So this notes I'll be sending you today. So I'll be providing you that. Okay, so yes, yes, Vita, it will be purely practical and real-time session. So don't worry about real time, because that is the only way. So there is no MCQ or any a theory part. So almost every day we'll be doing a practical sessions. Okay, so yeah, so that's it for the day, guys. Then so okay, so someone raised.
Hello. Sir,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you said about we need two CPUs to this,
Okay.
for installing Linux, and one of for our lecture. If we see lecture in our mobile phone, sir.
Of course, you can. Just a sec. Let me mute you for a while. There is a lot of disturbance. So, yeah. So first thing is, of course, you can see the recording in your mobile, but in order to practice that, at least you must have a laptop, right? So you must practice whatever we are doing on day to day. You just practice that because it won't be a hard one. So whatever we are doing day to day, you just practice, right? So that's it. That would be more than enough. If you don't have a hard like a laptop or PC, then yeah, it would be hard for you to understand because it will be a practical session, right? So at least cloud we can do, but mobile you can't do anything, right? So yeah, so it would be hard like for you if you have only mobile. So please make sure you get your one of your friends' laptop or some at least some device, right? So to practice it, because cloud means there is no even hardware reliability, right? So you need not even rely on any one of your CPU, RAM, or something. So simply you can spin up a machine in your AWS or GCP, and it is free, by the way. Okay. Uh, no, Ilias, right? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. So, yeah, mobile you can't do proceed with the session. Okay, so that is the thing. You must have a laptop or computer, at least laptop or computer. Okay, so yeah, so that's it for the day then. So it is already 1 minute extra. Okay, so hope I would see you guys tomorrow session. So thanks all then. Have a great day. Bye bye.